In this problem, we're given two fractions and we're asked to simplify what we're looking at. So when we're looking at an addition and subtraction of fractions problem, no matter if it's equations like we're looking at or prettier numbers without variables going on, the process is really the same. You always need to find a common denominator. And the easiest way to find a common denominator, especially in a situation when you're dealing with equations, is to take whatever's on the bottom of one fraction. So on the bottom of the left fraction, I've got negative x plus 2, and I'm going to multiply that by the top and bottom of the second fraction. And then from there, I would do the same thing with the bottom of the second fraction, and I'm going to take it and multiply it by the top and bottom of the first fraction. So the easiest way to find a common denominator is always just take one denominator and multiply it by the top and bottom of the other fraction, and then take the second denominator and multiply it by the top and bottom of the first fraction. So from here, it's just going to be some algebra moves. We're going to need to go ahead and distribute a bunch of stuff together, and then from there we'll simplify it down. So I'm going to take this negative 3 into both of those pieces. So I'm going to be left with negative 12x minus 3. And then at the back here, I'm doing what most people would refer to as sort of the classic FOIL process. But what that means is we're just going to take each of these and multiply them by both of those. So we end up with negative x squared when I get x times negative x. And then I'm going to get positive 2x, and then I get negative 2 times negative x is going to give me another positive 2x from that negative being multiplied together, and then negative 2 times 2 is going to give me negative 4. So there's the top of my fraction. And now on the bottom, because I'm really just using a single common denominator, I only need to do the FOIL process with one of these, since the bottom will be the same on both of them. So I'm just going to use the first one. So 4x times negative x is going to give us negative 4x squared. 4x times 2 is going to give us a positive 8x. 1 times negative x is going to give us negative x. And 1 times 2 is going to give us a positive 2. And so the last move here is really to go ahead and combine your like terms on the top and the bottom. So starting at the top, I've got a single negative x squared. So I'm just going to pull that negative x squared to the front. I've got a negative 12x. Plus 2x is negative 10x, plus another 2x is going to give me negative 8x. And then I've got a minus 3 and a minus 4 that need to come together as a minus 7. On the bottom, I just have the negative 4x squared, and in the middle there, I've got an 8x minus x, which is going to give me a positive 7x. And at the end there, I've got a positive 2. So when you enter these in, a negative x squared, you would want to enter as negative 1 when you put that into the answers. And then we would have had a negative 8, we would have had a negative 7, a negative 4, a 7, and a 2. And there's your answer.